Rivals 2 is the long-awaited successor of the massively popular platform fighter Rivals of Aether, and its release is finally on the horizon. The Kickstarter to support the final stretches of development has already reached over $750,000 as of the making of this video, and we wouldn't be surprised to see it reach the million. There's already gameplay footage out there and even a pre-alpha build for selected streamers and content creators only. Luckily, we are part of that group, and since Rivals 2 is very different from the first game and even introduces completely new mechanics into the platform fighting genre, we decided to show what's new, what's returning, and everything else you need to know. Quick disclaimer, since this is a very early build, some of the things we talk about may change a little for the final release, but most of the core mechanics will probably stay the same. Rivals 2 has a lot of things you already know from other fighters: jabs, tilts, aerials, dash attacks, specials, and smashes, or what they are called in this game, strong attacks. Now, some characters break the well-known norms, like Raster, who can only do strong attacks in the air, or Craig, who can cancel his dash attack into other moves. And this is a common occurrence in Rivals, where characters sometimes break the rules of the game with certain specials or other tools, and it's what makes Rivals so interesting. A universal mechanic though, ever since Rivals 1, is that you can cancel jabs into tilts. A huge difference from the first game is that you now have a shield to block attacks with, just like in Smash. There is no shield poke, but if you block too much damage, it will break, putting you in a stun animation for a short while until you land. The parry from Rivals 1 is still in the game though. You can either bind it to one of your buttons or activate it by pressing shield and special. If you successfully parry an opponent's attack, they will be stunned for a short moment while you gain invincibility. Parrying projectiles will reflect them. That's not all though. Additionally to regular shield and parry, you can also power shield in Rivals 2 by shielding exactly before an attack would hit you. Melee and Brawl veterans will be very familiar with that one. If you power shield, you can act faster out of shield and you will not receive any pushback. You can shield drop through platforms by slowly tilting down while shielding on top of them. This can be very useful when getting pressured and is a lot easier to execute than in Melee. Oh, and in this game, if you shield right at an edge and you get pushed back by an attack, you will fall, unlike in, for example, Smash Ultimate. If there is shielding, you obviously also need grabs. After grabbing, you have the 4 classic throw directions. If 2 players grab at the same time, the grab gets broken off. But one thing that's very different from Smash games is the pummel. In Rivals 2, you can pummel only once, either with attack to add a pretty big chunk of damage, or with special. This special pummel is different for every character and often adds a completely unique element to the game. Mashing does not help you escape grabs any faster, but if your opponent decides to pummel, you can break out of the grab by pressing or just holding the right button, either attack or special, depending on which option your opponent chose. So every pummel is a 50-50 risk. And no, holding both attack and special will not work. Like most other platform fighters, every character in Rivals has 4 specials, but what makes Rivals stand out are the different elements and the complexity of some of the specials. They often have synergies with other attacks and let you play the game in a lot of different ways. Zeta burns fire, powers up his smashes, Craig changes the terrain, and Maple Seed interacts with other specials. In Rivals 2, you have invincible rolls, spot dodges, and a directional air dodge. You can act after air dodging, but you can only use it a single time until you land again or grab the ledge. Even getting hit will not give you your air dodge back. Wave dashing is not just possible, but is a very good movement option. You can wave land on platforms, wave dash off edges, and even ledge dash onto the stage. It is done by simply air dodging into the ground, but for maximum distance you can just air dodge all the way horizontally. With the right timing you will get a wave dash, unlike in Smash games where you only get a horizontal air dodge. Another cool movement tool from Melee that is also in Rivals 2 is moonwalking. It's done by dashing into one direction before quickly inputting a half circle backwards to get a lot of reverse momentum. I already mentioned ledges. Yes, there are ledges to hold on to, which is a big change from Rivals 1, which did not have ledges. You can hang on the ledge indefinitely, and when grabbing it you get some invincibility for the first and second ledge grab, but not for the third or consecutive times. There is no trumping, which means that you can ledge hog your opponent, steal the ledge away from them. You have all the classic ledge get up options: regular, are roll, jump and attack, plus something that was never in Smash, a special ledge attack. These often make use of a character's unique element and can be very powerful but are also more punishable. Similarly, when lying on the ground, you have the classic options of regular get-up, roll, get-up attack and playing dead, or the newly added special get-up attack, again making use of the character's various unique abilities. When falling to the ground, you can neutral tech or tech roll, but if you don't, your opponent has a chance to jab lock you. One jab lock forces a get-up, but you can choose between neutral get-up and roll, and two jab locks always force a neutral get-up. Funnily, in this pre-alpha build of the game, you can press taunt in the air to force a tumble state and fall to the ground. Now, this may only be a tool for devs and creators to test teching and get-up options, but we'll see if it stays in the game for future builds as well. It is definitely funny to use and gives you access to the cool new special get-up attacks. You can wall jump in Rivals 2 by simply holding towards a wall and pressing jump. In the first game, you could wall jump even after up specials, so while being in free fall, but that is not possible in the new game. Oh, and a really big mechanic that is unique to Rivals and still exists in Rivals 2 is hit falling. This tech allows you to cancel your upwards momentum into a fast fall while hitting an attack by just pushing down in the right moment. It allows for really quick movement, gives you new combos and is a very strong tool in high-level play. It doesn't work when hitting shields though. Hit falling is hard to make good use of, so if you're a beginner you probably shouldn't pay too much attention to it at first. We are definitely very excited for Rivals 2 and hope that many more people join the hype. The development team themselves are old school Smash players and have always been really community oriented. They also put immense focus on building the best netcode possible so that playing online feels just as good as playing offline, something many platform fighters struggle with. The game is currently planned to release in winter of 24, but there will be open beta phases during which Kickstarter supporters will get a chance to try the game early. So if you are interested in that and want to help Rivals 2 reach their stretch goals, you can go to their Kickstarter and make a contribution. We'll have all the links in the description. We hope you enjoyed this little showcase because we plan on creating much more Rivals content in the future. So hit that sub button, thanks for watching and stay beefy.